This podcast dives into some real talk that might be triggering to some listeners. Viewer discretion is advised.
So, Dinsang, it's your girl Mazda Hot, aka Chippy Yappy Tori. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, screening Salena. We're about to clock it all the way down south, powered by Staying Alive Foundation. This is Clock It. Coming up.
To build a healthy man, you also need a healthy relationship with a woman.
It's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to ask for help.
We grew up not knowing the value of therapy.
We never give up on people.
If I cry, all of a sudden my sexuality comes into conversation.
How do I treat a powerful woman?
When you've got power, when you're the one that's spoiling, you know,
Yeah.
you almost feel like you own the person.
The streets weigh in on GBV and the mental health battles men don't often talk about.
Because of my past trauma of gender-based violence, they're going to reflect upon my children.
There are many factors that trigger your depression.
Wonke umuntu uyagowa through izinto and mawukhala kumina ukhala ngisuke sengihila lapho.
Why are men not allowed to cry?
And we're wrapping up with our Down South Facts game with the truth and the tools to heal.
I always want to hear from you guys, so always engage with us on social media by using the hashtag #ClockItPodcast. I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say.
Why don't you put out the lights, boy? Why don't you turn the lights out? And that's why they call it down south, boy. That's why they call it down south. Why don't you put out the lights, boy? Why don't you turn the lights out?
Today, I want to look into, can people really change? And I also want to check that fine line between loving someone and really controlling them. Mara, let's go, Wara. I don't want to get too heavy. We're going to talk to Ayanda and Dr. Gwen just now, coming up next.
We've got Ayanda Makayi, the MTV Shuga Down South OG we've watched grow through every messy, mad season. And Dr. Gwen Tonyane joins him in breaking down the hard truths with compassion and clarity.
Oh, hi, guys. Welcome to Clock It. I'm so happy to see you guys. Ayanda, the OG of OGs.
The ancestor.
Oh, what does Ikwele mean? I'm Xhosa, but I don't think I can understand that.
The wizard of the show.
It's nice finally meeting you. How are you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm so blessed. You know, being part of MTV Shuga has been something that has really shifted my career, my trajectory.
Really?
But also, I think the nice thing about it is being part of a show that continues conversation off screen.
Oh, yes. Love that.
So yeah,
definitely.
man, I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. As you can see. Yes. Dr. Gwen, how are you?
Good, and how are you? Thanks for asking.
I'm good. You look beautiful, by the way. Just have to say that.
Thank you. I received.
Yes. I want to know more about therapy. Tell me about therapy and why it's important.
Yes, I think more often people think about therapy as like talking to your friend, but therapy is actually a clinical tool that we use, right, to address certain mental health challenges, give you coping skills, be able to address some of the things that you might be finding challenging and give you tools to go back into the world to implement and live a fulfilling, healthy life.
For Lena Lishinkelewane, the show, let's take a look at Saul's character journey.
My name is Ayanda Makayi, and I play the character of Saul, Solomzi Mtangai, on MTV Shuga Down South Season 3. Do you guys know that Handum Mageza, taxi drive? It was a long time ago. Saul's a very laid individual. In the first season, we first met him, and we met him as a spoilt brat. In Season 3, we meet a totally different Saul, where he's kind of searching for retribution, searching for rehabilitation, and he's really just trying to rediscover himself, create a new identity where people don't know his past and can kind of just meet him on a human level and a more genuine level.
So, are you ready for today?
And so he's in this battle of proving to himself that he can change, but also proving to his sister that he can change. That change, Atuli. Guam up.
You sound exactly like Dad right now.
But as the challenges come in and when his secrets come out, it's kind of like we're caught between a rock and a hard place where we're like, well, we've met this new soul and we actually love him, you know, but now that we know his past, do we forget about that? Do we forgive him? And so that's the kind of issues that we deal with in this season.
Yo, yeah, ne. I mean, you've played Usol for 3 seasons now, ne. I want to know, obviously you must have learned something from Sol. How has Sol shaped who Ayanda is today?
It's so interesting, right? So season 1, we meet Usoli, who's this perpetrator. He's, he's possessive, he's abusive, but also he feels like he owes this girl, which a lot of men in the country normally do that. When you've got power, when you're the one that's spoiling, you know, you almost feel like you own the person that you're dating or that you're seeing. And this was a very hard element for me to understand because I'd never been someone who's abusive or anything like that, but I had to be as honest as possible when I played the character. So that was the first thing I learned, like the way the mind goes for the man when they start feeling like they own someone. Then in season 2, we meet him and we get an understanding of where all of this comes from, this trauma, which was something I learned as well, that in order for us to rehabilitate perpetrators, we can't just throw them in prison and think that 15 years down the line is going to come back and be okay. We need to go unpack the root cause. So that's another thing that made me say, okay, we can say men are trash or we can cancel men, but we're not doing anything to change society if we're not dealing with the root cause, right? Which was also very interesting because it came at a time when I was now becoming a father. Ayanda is now a father. You know, and so what kind of son do I want to bring up into this country or into this world? Then we met Usol in season 3. Now he's trying to re-establish himself, right? He feels, so he moves away from Zenzele Township to Johannesburg to start this new identity, and he feels like he's changed, you know? And he's honestly convinced that I've changed, but his demons keep coming up, and therefore, you know, things start surfacing again, his past comes back to haunt him, which then also brought me back to, can we really forgive perpetrators, right?
And can they forgive themselves?
And also we must realize that we are human. So even if I come and I say I've changed, something might happen down the line that triggers it again. So how, as we as a society, how are we treating perpetrators? And if someone's done wrong, are we now going to cancel them for good and that's that? So yeah, that's pretty much the journey that I've gone through over the seasons.
Yeah, no, you went through a lot, I can't lie. Dr. Gwen, you've seen the character journey, Yagasol. What do you think of it so far as a therapist?
You know, as from a psychiatrist's point of view, I suppose we get to put a lot of medical stuff in context of therapy and what happens in society. And honestly, at the core of what I saw is hurt people, isn't it? You know, it's a hurt child that is growing up to be a man in society and continues to hurt because he's hurting inside. So I'll make you feel how I feel inside because no one has given me the opportunity to truly heal that hurt. So I will just keep almost bleeding onto other people that didn't cut you. And I think that's what I see, you know, somebody who is mindful now as they're growing that there's something in me that needs to heal. Let me give myself a second opportunity maybe to start afresh, you know, to start a new identity and see if I can do better. I might have not done better in the past, but have an opportunity to pause, to be here, clock it in, and for his mental health and for the rest of the generations to come.
Okay. Oh, that's very profound. That's very profound. Ayanda, I want to know though, because you've played such a hectic role, has it affected you in your daily life and how people view you?
Not necessarily. Luckily, I was very fortunate enough to do a lot of other characters. So people have attached myself to other characters as well. Some sweet characters, some bad characters. However, what it has done to me, it has given me an opportunity to say, let's deal with the boy child. because as a society, we've grown up always focusing on girls.
Girls,
you know,
yes.
the girl child. I went to an all-boys school, you know, which is all about rugby and all about, you know, being a man and being a dominant man and being an alpha male. So it gave me an opportunity to look back and say, okay, as a society, what are we saying? How are we raising men now? Because the men that our fathers grew up as, times are different, you know? They're not working to go to a farm or go to a mine. Now it's different. People are sensitive. There's cancel culture. Are we still looking for a man's man? And what does that look like now?
I think as society, we've done so much, you know, to empower at the expense of this boy child that now has to deal with this new power dynamic. I mean, we have lots of saying, mbogodo and all of that. You know, you need to be the rock. But who is anchoring this rock? Because this rock has to be anchored by someone. So in conversations like this, you know, MTV Shuga Down South, it's about addressing those social ills, those controversial topics that perhaps we've been shy to talk about, and just shine light on them and say, let's break the stigma, let's have this conversation in a light-hearted way, you know, and let's, like, you know, rope it in a way that is meaningful to us as society, in a language that we understand, that is fun, that is relatable, instead of maybe how we've always viewed, like maybe doctors in a very clinical way, in a very maybe perhaps a patriarchal way, but let's have these conversations on this level, Waban.
Okay, I like that. I like that dropping bar.
Now I want us to look at where Saul finds himself face to face with his sister. So let's check it out.
No.
No.
Andizothatha abantwana ndibase ukugigi iphosi yam.
I'm 17, Saul. Anyoningane.
Uyona ingane. Uyazi baphandle kukho amaxhego amagxiba amadala alinde intombazane efana nawe nayiva.
Amadoda afana nawe. People like you and Buso don't scare me.
Hey! Undifanisana Mbuso. Ndatshintsha Thuli. Qhame lapha. Kwam apha. Andiva. Kwaye kukhwalisa msicaphula. Andiva. Damet!
You sound exactly like Dad right now.
Yo, you sound exactly like Dad right now. I mean, that speaks to how Usol was brought up in a household where violence was normalized, right? And do you think that changes and shapes how men today and, well, men love?
No, for sure. I mean, for him, I think it's what he grew up as is what he understands as his love language, right? You must also remember society, these young men grow up with maybe not a father figure present or a father figure who's abusive, but then you start creating your own combination of a father. You take from the pastor, you take from umalume, you take from your teacher, you take from the gangster in Sokoneni, you know, your drunk uncle, and you create this father figure, an idea of a father figure. And so when there's certain situations like this, you react based on what you've picked up. So it's definitely molded him, and that's his love language. That's how he communicates love. Doc, what do you think our role as a society is towards change? Because it almost feels like we haven't created the space for change.
Yes.
Right? The moment you do something, we want to cancel you. The moment you say something, we want to make sure that you've lost your job or you get fired wherever you're working. So as a society, do you think we've allowed space for
change? Yes.
I think it's going to be an ongoing conversation because perhaps we also need to reframe. We need to choose better words, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, because all of this, you know, when you have become an abuser or a victim of abuse that then perpetrates it, right, is that you're met with a lot of shame. You know, you're shamed as a way to punish, whilst maybe reform is about, let's take accountability, let's be aware of what we are doing, what does it mean for you? How do my actions and what I have done, how has it made you feel? How has it shaped life for you? And is there anything that I can do to make it better? So I suppose cancel culture came as a form, we need to punish you.
Yeah.
It becomes and that's not what justice is about.
It's correction.
It's, which is, let us see what is the problem. Let's see how we can make it better. While maybe cancel culture is, let's block you out. You are a menace to society. We need to cut you off, quarantine you somewhere with other people that are like you, so that you are not with us. So we want to isolate you so you don't belong, And as human beings, we're social beings, We want to belong, and that's why, trauma and abuse doesn't only affect the victim. It affects the family, it affects the community, it affects generations, right? Because we're just social beings, we're socialized that way. So once this rupture or this fracture happens, it really has this ripple effect. And I think sometimes it's a way of people wanting to protect themselves from this ripple effect that is going to erode at us. Because it eats away at your soul, it eats away the happiness of others, it affects their life. So sometimes I think it is our primary defense, all right? Primary defense, which is to deny, shut out, throw away, so that maybe we can be ourselves and then recoup and see if we can re-engage.
I hear that. I really hear that. And you spoke about the problems we face in society, and I think one of the problems we're facing is masculinity is taught as a strength to men. You're closer, so you understand the whole Nindoda concepts, you understand. So how do we now rewrite that narrative? Ubana, Mamelani guys, don't use your masculinity as a weapon. Rather use it as something that can uplift you.
You know the saying, Indoda Ikali?
Yeah.
The actual African proverb is Indoda Ikali, ikhalela izinhliziyo kuphela.
Oh.
And we had shortened that over time as a society.
To suit us.
So the moment we start being able to take those kind of things and implement them, I think we like to victimize people that are opening their hearts, or people that are willing to talk. All of a sudden you are less of a man, you're weaker of a man. And it starts with certain areas like schools, society, environment. But then the role is not just for the man. Because to build a healthy man, you also need a healthy relationship with the woman, right?
Doc, what do you think?
Look, that is a very loaded statement, which also I think it's maybe important to reframe it and say maybe perhaps what is the role of the other gender, isn't it? What's the role of, because we're putting a lot on the man, but the man comes from somewhere. He was once a boy, and it was a boy when he was hurt, he was encouraged to cry and run to mommy or daddy for comfort. And then somewhere along the line, something changes where this boy child was met with so much empathy, understanding, and a softness. Suddenly is met by a caregiver, whether it's mom or dad, with so much aggression. If they do something wrong, they no longer have that soft sort of place to fall if I'm hurt or angry that I can go to mom or dad. Suddenly they're just met with an aggression to say, well, pick yourself up, isn't it? Pick yourself up. You need to do this. Suddenly the roles or the gender roles in the family change. Whilst all the children had chores. Everybody had to clean the room, everybody had to do the dishes. Suddenly the boy child suddenly can't do the dishes. It's the girl child's job. Then the expectation suddenly changed. And I suppose, is that from culture? Is that that the boy child has always been looked differently, right? Because the boy child is the one that's going to continue our lineage. Suddenly there's a shift as the boy child gets older, whilst, these are the responsibilities. A shift happens, a shift starts to happen, even at school. The responsibilities for the boy child and how the boy child plays and socializes. It's very different. Aggression is encouraged. Climb the trees, fall, so that you feel the pain of the earth. Whilst the girl child gets, almost shielded, treated like an egg.
In a bubble.
In a bubble to say, you need to be soft. You can't play with the cars. It's only for the boys, you know. So they definitely a shift that we play as society, as families, you know, that sort of encourages this change and almost like a seed, isn't it? It's a seed that what we do in society and all our actions are actually that water that nurtures this masculinity and the toxic masculinity until, you know, this person becomes an adult and then we all shocked, like hebatu.
That is very true. No, that is very real. And I just want to talk about that. I want us to talk about that and actually dive into it. And this is very controversial, so don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. You talked about households, right? And how these boys and girls are raised. And sometimes, guys, I really do feel like it is the mothers, because most boys are raised by single mothers, and it is how they treat these boys that makes them grow up into the men that they are. Boys are sheltered in a very toxic way by mothers, and girls are also made to dress a certain way, like, no, you can't do that, you're going to provoke the boys. Do you think that mothers and, well, women and how boys are raised plays a very big role in how GBV is today?
It's quite controversial, but it's also an important one to have, isn't it? To say, what are the drivers of all of these things? I mean, we're trying to effect all of this change, but what are the drivers of these social ills? And sometimes, actually, women are the drivers of patriarchy. They are the drivers of certain types of abuse, where there's a lot of victim shaming. So what did you do to provoke him? Why are you dressed in a certain way? Don't you know that boys will be boys, isn't it? You know, certain things like that, that the accountability shifted to now the victim, the person that is traumatized.
I was raised by a single mom, right? And so I know that relationship. My mom had the pressure of being the mom and the dad. So the only dad figure I do know is a feminine father figure. So it's easier for me to engage emotionally. It's easier for me to open up, to talk. I didn't have that aggressive approach or lesson or father figure. So it's so important, that relationship between the mom and the son.
And the son. Yeah, no, you're dropping facts. My guests today are definitely coming through with the facts. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let's see what the Down South Mike has to say for us today.
GPV, it's mainly happening because of the kids in the house. They see their parents fighting every day, so they think that that thing is right. So that when they grow up, they also do the same thing, and then it causes a very bad thing to the society.
How you can show a friend that is in the abusive relationship to get out of that abusive relationship? I could ask her if her partner overpowers her, or her partner controls her, or if he's telling her like what to do at what time exactly. So I would tell her to leave her partner, and if she can't, she can go visit the police station or attend consultations or get a therapy, because it clearly means she's into that guy too much that she can't live that relationship.
Okay, the long terms of gender-based violence is that, let's say I decide to get married, right? And I decide to have kids of my own. Because of my past trauma of gender-based violence, they're going to reflect upon my children. I'm not going to be able to show the proper father figure that I should have, and that will impact them in a very bad way also.
Hi, you know what they say, the streets never lie. Ayanda, what do you have to say about what they just told us now?
It's so interesting hearing it straight from, young people in their own voices. And the other guy who was so honest about the long-term results and effects of GBV. That for me has been my biggest issue with discovering the question of what makes a man. I raised a son, I'm raising a son, and I went around the country looking and asking people in a documentary, asking what makes a man. And one thing I learned is that there's no definite full stop. You are constantly becoming a man.
Okay.
You can never just be a man and end there. because there's so many layers in society, and especially now in this day and age, there's a lot of things that affect us as men, culturally, alpha male, what sexually, there's a lot of things. So you're constantly becoming a man.
Yeah, Doc, do you agree?
I definitely agree. It's very important. It's becoming and also allowing to be human. You know, allowing yourself the space to experience all the spectrums of your emotions.
Sure.
You know, to also experience maybe perhaps what you're learning and take factually what we are learning and incorporate those emotions and not deny them, you know, for us to be wiser. And I like that, you know, it's allowing yourself the humanness and to grow and to unlearn things that don't serve you and learn new things that are going to make you better.
Okay, now let's look at Saul getting back into society and how that affects his mental health.
Tata, wayembhuqa oledi. Ambhuqa ademe boko. Wade ngenye imini wambhuqa wade wabhubha. Umbulala. Ndifuze loo nto mna. Ndifuze loo nto. Hadi mawuthi. Ndihadi nomtshita. Bra ndibolile mna. Ndibolile nempethu. Ukayiqala into ebendenza kutsula. Ya. Xa ndingakwazi uzixolela mna. Xa ndizijongile esipilini ndingakwazi uzixolela. Abantu bezonixolela njani. Ndiyachithatyiwe. Xaba ndibhatyi zeni phela into ebekuthethwa ngayo ngoku. Ndiyacela mhlekazi. Ndikucela ngentliziyo emhlophe emsulwa. Khawuhlangulule. Fix me. Fix me.
Ke utlwa Sol, ke utlwa o tiaka. Flopo go rao koloi Michome. I can't fix you. I don't know how to fix you. In fact, I don't think there's anybody that can fix another person. But I can promise you this, my friend. I will equip you with the processes and the tools and give you the methods on how to make better decisions that will help you in your healing journey.
Bare flopo ke hore ha o koloi. I can't fix you. Doc, I want to know from you, can people really change?
People can change if they have the willingness and the drive to change. And for you, in order to change, is that you have to start and look inward and say, how can I be better? And there are people that are not willing to be better, unfortunately. And those people that are not willing to be better or do better must also not be allowed to be in society where they're going to continue to hurt others.
Okay. Ayanda, do you feel like Saul changed? Do you feel like he really did change?
I think with Saul, one thing I carry from even this scene in particular, I always get emotional in this scene when I see it, is that he first needs to forgive himself.
Yes.
You know, I can't go out there and say I've changed or I've done something I'm never going to do it again. Or
yes.
If I haven't forgiven myself, right? And I think that's where his biggest change comes from, is the fact that he's able to sit down there and say, Doc, please fix me, try something. I've given up. I tried to run away. I tried to go start a new career. I even tried to be a good guy. I was picking up rubbish. I started from the bottom. You know, I went and I got an honest job. I've gone and I've stopped a guy like Snacks to tell him, look, I've been down this road.
Yes.
But still, that is not enough.
Yes.
Still, society hasn't accepted me. So what do I need to do?
Oh, that's a hard one.
That is a hard one. But you know what's very interesting, this is a very, very powerful scene where he almost let his guard down, I think for the first time, where he lets his guard down and lets himself be vulnerable, vulnerable to say, I am actually hurting, because you can't forgive something, and because an act should have been done that you need to forgive, because forgiveness must come with actionable change, isn't it? Right? But also, who does he really need to forgive? Is it really himself or what has happened to him? Why is he blaming himself for what has happened? You're blaming yourself for how the world has shaped you.
Yeah.
Like really, is he asking for forgiveness of self only, or is it forgiveness of society, of the world, of everything? Because all of those things have shaped that one act. Although it was a violent act, that hurt others, it also comes from somewhere, isn't it? It comes from somewhere. So really, are we forgiving the here and now? Or do we also need to look back and forgive what has happened? Things that we didn't have a choice. Saul didn't have a choice. He was a child. He's a child that needed to be protected.
Yeah.
He's a child that needed to be taught better, to name their emotions, to ask for help, to process all these difficult emotions, and was denied that. So how can I go and do something that I've been taught? If I've never been taught how to ride a bicycle, and I give you a bicycle right now.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It's going to be tricky, isn't it? You're going to try a pedal from what you think you've seen, you're going to fall, you're going to hurt yourself. Is it fair?
No,
also, to expect him to do something that he was also not taught. I think here maybe perhaps the vulnerability and what therapy is giving yourself the opportunity to get those tools, to get those tools to say, I need to literally go back as a 25-year-old soul, first start with the 5-year-old and grow with them for being this man who can do better. Because unless he goes back and addresses those, he will continue. He will perpetuate all of that.
That's right.
And you also have to do this new thing, whilst this is the old way of doing things. It's maladaptive, yes, but it has also made you survive. Yes, it hasn't made you thrive, but it has made you survive. There are certain things about that aggression, right, that has made him survive. Probably made him survive when he was incarcerated. Made him strong to be able to fight off things, isn't it? We see him try to be a mental health advocate of the other with snacks, for instance, to pay it forward. But it's because he is still holding on to the pain and the hurt that he's not moving forward. It's almost like playing a tennis match against the wall. You keep hitting the ball against and it comes back to you because you haven't taken time to pause, reset, address all of those hurts so that you can give yourself an opportunity to learn new things and be better.
There's a scene that really, I was like, It was the time he went to Kanyisa Center. Is it Kanyisa Center, right? And those drumettes were, doing their thing. And then he got there. Obviously, they're high school kids. He got there. He told his friend Victor, he's like, yo, check out these girls. And Victor's like, no, these are school kids. And when you look at that, you're like, but is this person really changing? You understand? Has this person changed?
That's what I was saying about I'm not going to be perfect. I'm saying I'm changing, but there'll be these triggers. What you're saying, I'll play this tennis with the wall, and it that's in the beginning of the series, and he soon learns that he needs the therapy. But if he hadn't gone to therapy, he probably would have looked at the next high school girl he sees again. You know what I mean? So it's I'm actually very, very honored to be sitting with you in this conversation because that's part of the change. We grew up not knowing the value of therapy. We grew up in homes where, you're like, why should I go speak to a stranger who doesn't even know me? So I think there's a lot of lessons being learned in that journey, Kasol, ending up in therapy.
Okay. I definitely do need a second after all of that. So please, let's take it to the streets.
There are many factors that trigger your depression. There's internal factors and external factors. Internal factors like maybe you're not reaching your goals, or external factors could be your family, your workspace. So there are many ways to counteract and to solve these problems.
Amadoda kumele akhale. If you feel like crying, you can cry. Ayikho inkinga lapho ngoba wonke umuntu uyagowa through izinto and mawukhala kumina ukukhala ngisuke sengihila lapho. So they are allowed to cry.
Men also have feelings, women have feelings. Why are men not allowed to cry? And as much as I am gay, I'm still a man. And then like a lady, I cry a lot because sometimes you just need to let some things out. Sometimes you don't really need to speak, but then maybe just cry. I think personally it helps me when I cry.
Yeah, it helps. It really does help. Ayanda, what do you have to say to clap back?
No, it really does help. And I like the statement at the end because a lot of the times we grow up, especially us amongst men, right? If I cry, all of a sudden my sexuality comes into conversation. You know, you crying, he's probably gay. Or he's in touch with his emotions, all of a sudden, and I like what he said, he's still a man. And I think that for me is where the conversation needs to change. Like, my crying shouldn't make me a weaker man. My crying should make me an honest man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear that, Doc.
No, I definitely agree. That's very important. And I think we spoke a little bit about it, about allowing yourself the emotions, allowing yourself to just your humanness, isn't it? And I think, sometimes shame and silence are the biggest drivers of perpetuating all these ills, because they isolate you so much that you feel like you can't go and talk to people about. And that actually just perpetuates mental illnesses, right? It perpetuates anxiety, depression, substance use, because now you're trying to heal yourself in this isolation. And all people see it's just the behavior, but not what is behind that behavior. It's almost taking like a fizzy drink right now and shaking it, isn't it? And you open it up and it blows all over. All the people see is the blow up, but we never go back to what made that fizzy drink shake, isn't it? Because most people isolate themselves, they're shamed into talking, And I like also perhaps what has happened in the clips is it was in some of the clips where it was group orientated, where it was men driving this. It was your peers, the people that understand, because maybe sometimes coming to a psychiatrist or medical doctor or a psychologist might feel like there's a power dynamic, that Saul spoke to fix me. Because when I have a medical condition and something wrong with me, I go to the doctor, they give me antibiotics, so it is to make me better. This is not making me better. Talking is not making me better. So I need something else. So I think it's important for us to have those conversations, to allow ourselves the vulnerability to talk openly about topics like this. Although controversial, we are healing. And we might not even heal on one-on-one. It's maybe perhaps what is Ayanda bringing into this conversation, what Mandy bringing into this conversation, that I can learn from you. And sometimes I can relate better. I know what that means for you. You don't even have to say. It's like, when I did this, I get it. That maybe you might feel in a clinical setting with a doctor or a therapist, they might not be able to understand. Yes. But on this level, man, you get me.
Yeah, definitely.
I think also a lot of the times what has happened, we've said men must talk, men must do what? And then there's been this fear of that this men must talk or men must cry is a big thing. Whereas even just going with your mate to go have a drink or go have lunch and just talk about it, you find that my stress over finances or my stress with my car is what has been stressing me to the extent that when I get home, I snap for the smallest thing. Next thing, I'm taking out my anger on my partner. But meanwhile, it's just been about my car.
Which is not fair. It's really not fair. Guys, I just want to give y'all a disclaimer. I'm not sure if my medical aid is going to cover this session right here, okay? I just want to put that out there. That was definitely a lot, okay? But it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show. Let's play some games. So the game we're playing today is called Rapid Fire Confessions. Are you ready? Okay. So let me explain the game mechanics, ne? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a scenario and you're gonna either green or red. You understand? It's easy. Quickly. Just yes or no. Ne? So you at home can definitely join us by playing the game with us, okay? Use the hashtag #ClockItPodcast, #good or #bad. Are you ready? I'm definitely ready. Okay. Scenario A. Lying about your violent past just to slide it into a new life. Clock that. Scenario B. Snapping back with fists when someone triggers your trauma. We don't do that over here. Yep. Scenario C. Owning up to your past after your sister outs you. Yeah. Scenario D. Trying to win back broken trust with family. Yep, definitely. Scenario E. Falling back into violence and ending up arrested. Sol. You. Scenario F. Landing a legit job and choosing to rebuild. Yep. Scenario G. Supporting Thuli and being a real brother. I still need you. Scenario H. Joining group counseling instead of fighting your demons solo.
Definitely.
Yeah. Scenario I. Building healthy relationships with neighbors who show love and stability. I agree, guys. I definitely agree. Okay. And the last one. Scenario J. Protecting others from the kind of abuse you once enabled. I'm so proud.
We are so sad.
You guys are totally healthy. And that was Rapid Fire Confessions. My guests were lovely, guys. Thank you so much for coming. You guys definitely dropped some bombs. You dropped some insight, and you made me a little bit emotional, okay? Did you guys have fun?
Yes, we did. Sure. We did. It was definitely fun.
That's all I want to hear. We clocked it. We clocked it.
We did this.
Remember to join us again next week for more conversations and more empowerment, guys. And if you want to talk to us on social media, which you should, use the hashtag #ClockItPodcast, guys. I'm Man's Not Hot, and remember to always clock it.
The Clock It podcast is guided by health experts to keep the convo safe and empowering. For more on HIV, PrEP, GBV, and mental health support, follow the link below. It may be over for the podcast, but you can continue the dialogue on our socials.